This lasted for like months, y'all, like for 4 or 5 months. They would know what class I was in. They would know if I was at the football game. Like, I felt like I was going crazy. Hey guys, what's up? It's Maddie here, and today I'm coming back at you guys with another story time. I am going to tell you guys the story about the time my best friends catfished me for months. Literally months. Apparently they thought it was really funny to make it seem like I had a secret admirer. But I didn't think it was very funny. So anyways, yes, I'm going to tell you guys all about it. I'm laughing because like I can't believe this happened, and I kind of forgot about it until the other day when I was it's always when I'm reading my diary, you know, whatever. But yeah, so if you're interested in hearing this story, keep on listening. Okay, so this happened my freshman year of college. I had a random roommate who we were random, but we weren't random. You could either get a totally random roommate or you could pick your own, and she had posted this little insert about herself on the university's Facebook page, and we had been messaging each other after that, kind of like Tinder style but for roommates, and we had clicked really well. We had met in person before. We decided to room with each other and decided that we would probably be very good roommates together, so that is how I met my freshman year roommate, and we got along great. I lived in a dorm on, I believe it was the 5th floor, and our entire hall, which had like 40 girls in it, pretty much everybody in that hall was very social and outgoing, and we all got along really well. And one of the girls I met the very first day I moved in, she lived across the hall down a few ways, but we clicked instantly. We became really good friends for my first 2 years of college. Things went south a little while after that, but that's for a different video, not for this. And so those are the two main friends I'm going to talk about in this video. I'm going to give my roommate the name of Patricia. So my roommate's name is going to be Patricia in the story, and the friend I met the first day who lived in my hall, her name is going to be, yeah, we're going to call her Susan. So Patricia is my roommate and Susan is my hallmate. And so me, Patricia, and Susan, we all get along really well. We hang out all the time, just like, you know, your typical freshman year, like, I want to make all the friends and we're all gonna get along great. That happened for me. Like, I was so fortunate, and yeah, I thought these girls were gonna be my best friends throughout the entire college years. Like, my entire 4 years of college, I thought I had my set group of friends. I thought it was gonna be great. Well, a few months in, like, I don't even think it took more than 2 months for them to start trying to mess around with me, because I'm a very gullible person and I'm very trusting of people, which is a downfall. Like, this is where I went wrong because I should not have even responded to this message. But it was a few months into college, and it was probably around 8 or 9. It was dark outside. I was sitting at my desk doing homework, and Patricia and Susan were sitting on the futon across the room from me, and they were also doing homework. And all of a sudden I get a text message from an unknown number, and I look at it and it was just like, "Hey beautiful." And I didn't know who this person was. Obviously, like, I didn't have their phone number saved in my phone. And whenever this happens to me, I feel very awkward because I'm like, oh crap, I must have deleted somebody's number, and now I have to do the whole awkward, I got a new phone, sorry, who is this? And most of the time when that happens, people kind of are like aware that you didn't actually get a new phone, because nowadays when you do get a new phone, you can just transfer people's numbers over onto your new phone. Like, that's not an issue people typically have, and I just felt very uncomfortable, and I immediately turned around and told my friends what was happening, and I was like, guys, how do I make this person not feel badly that I don't have their number saved? Because obviously it sounded like they knew me. They were both just like cracking up laughing with me. Like, they made it sound like they were like, oh crap, let's think of a reply, blah blah blah. And so they helped me just be like, the typical like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, when I came to college I got a new phone number, like, sorry, who are you? And the person responded, oh, you don't remember me? We had a really great time the other day, like, I'm so sorry, but like, I think you're beautiful. And I was just like, what do you mean we had a great time the other day? Like, I don't know you. And so then I started getting kind of weirded out. And I was reading them the entire conversation, and this person kept bombarding me with texts about how they were admiring me from afar and they got my phone number from a mutual friend. All this weird stuff about how they watch me as I walk through campus and all this stuff that just like, I was just like, oh. And every text I get, I'm sitting there reading it out loud to my friends like, y'all, what do I do? And they're sitting there and they're like freaking out with me like, Maddie, this is so strange. What, like, you might want to like block this number. This is creepy. And so I just decide to respond like, hey, I'm very flattered, but like, I don't know you. I'm very sorry. And that's like the only thing I sent them for that night, because I was just like, if I don't respond after that, they're gonna get the hint, they're gonna stop texting me, it's whatever. I don't even know how to like explain this, but as like, this lasted for like months, y'all. Like for 4 or 5 months, I would get, it wouldn't even be like day after day, but it would be like once a week. I would just get really strange messages from them. Like, they would know where I was, the person. They would, and the text messenger, I don't even know what to call them. They would know what class I was in. They would know if I was at the football game. They would know if I was eating lunch at the dining hall, and they would text me being like, oh, I like the sweater you're wearing. It looks so beautiful on you. And I would just look around and be like, what the heck? And like, nobody would be looking at me. Like, I felt like I was going crazy, and I would always tell my friends and they would always try to help me figure out whose number it was, but we could never figure it out. And so I think it was like 2 months went by, and I decided to try to find out if I could figure it out through Snapchat. I like saved the number in my phone as like, creepy stalker, do not respond. When you save a number into your phone, if you go into Snapchat and it says like look up contacts, it will tell you their Snapchat name. And the person's Snapchat name came up into my phone, and it was somebody's like last name and first initial who lived in our hall, who was, what name did I give her? I think I named my hallmate Patricia. I'm sorry if I'm wrong, but it was Patricia's roommate's last name and first initial on Snapchat. And I was just like, excuse me? Like, what? And at first I was just like, why is her roommate messing with me? Like, her roommate never hung out with people. Like, she was a very sweet girl, but she didn't include herself in any of the hall activities that we would do. Whenever I was in Patricia's room, she wouldn't really talk to us. She was just very quiet. And so I didn't think she necessarily like didn't like me. I just didn't think she wanted to be a part of the conversations. And so I was like, this would be a very strange thing if she was the one messing with me, but I didn't have anything else to base it off of. So I took a screenshot of it and I sent it to Patricia and Susan, and I was like, y'all, like, Patricia, this is your roommate, like, she's the one doing this. And they immediately were like, oh heck no, it can't be her, like, she would never do something like this, blah blah blah. And so then I started to get really suspicious, and I sent the phone number to our RA, and I was like, is this the roommate's phone number? And the RA was like, yeah, that is. Like, I know that phone, like, she obviously has it. And she told me, like, it was the roommate's phone number. And so I was like, oh my gosh, like, my friends are trying to screw with me. And I had no clue why. Like, they were always so in on everything, and they were always trying to help me out with figuring out who was like trying to catfish me, like, I don't know. And so I was just like, what the heck? And so from that point on, I told them nothing. Like, I was always trying to figure out a way to bust them in the act, because I was like, oh, I'm gonna catch my friends pranking me. So for the first 2 months, I didn't respond to this catfish at all. And then once I found out it was my friends, I started responding all the time, trying to like meet up with them and like saying I was so flattered and that I wanted to know who it was, because I wanted to like catch them in the act. I wanted to like catch them trying to like record me meeting up with them, or I don't know, like, were they trying to humiliate me? Like, was this just a giant lifelong prank? I don't know. So anyway, yeah, I started responding and I was like, hey, let's meet up. I really want to know who you are. Obviously, I'm very flattered by you stalking me. Like, and Patricia and Susan started to like casually asking about my catfish, because I had stopped talking about it. And so I would like be very vague about it, and I was just like, nothing much, I don't respond, it's just annoying by now. And you could, like, they would be like, oh, you're such a liar, you like it, blah blah blah. And it was starting to get like very annoying. And about like 3 months in, so this is like a month afterwards, I confronted them about it. And I was just like, y'all, I know it's you. We were sitting in the dining hall. It was me, Patricia, Susan, the roommate, another one of our friends who lived in the hall, and me, and we were all sitting at a dining room table. And I just got a text from the catfish being like, oh, I love that shade of lipstick you're wearing, it makes you look so good. And I just like look at my phone and I look up and I was like, y'all, stop messing with me, I know it's you. And they just like look up and they're like, what are you talking about? Like, what do you mean? What's us? And I was like, you guys are the one who's texting me. Stop doing that. It's super annoying by now. I know everything. I know it's her, like, or at least I know it's her phone, but I know it's probably you guys doing it because you know all the information. And y'all, they made me look so psycho. Like, I was so frustrated at this point because I was just like, stop pranking me. I know the truth. And so I tried to like grab their phone to like be like, look, see, the text messages are right here. I'm not a good arguer, so I don't know how to prove my point unless I sit there and meditate about it for a second. And I didn't have that time because I was just mad, and as soon as I got the text, I was like, look, it's you. And so they were just firing away all these, well, if it was us, blah, 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 and blah, 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 and blah, 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 blah. And my roommate, she is she's a very devil's advocate type of person. So she could argue any side she wants and win. Like, she should be a lawyer, I'm telling you what. And I walked out of that argument humiliated, and I was just like, I will never accuse anybody of anything else ever again. But anyway, that's besides the point. I couldn't prove anything because I couldn't look at anybody's phones. Nobody would let me. And yeah, I didn't know what to do. And so it only got worse from there. Like, they started doing it all the time, and I was so frustrated, and I was just like, why would my friends do this to me? Like, when you feel like you know what's happening but you can't prove it, you start, and like nobody around you believes you, and like you've just been humiliated trying to prove your point, like you start feeling like you're going a little bit psycho. Like, because I started to believe that they were right and I was wrong, and I was like, maybe I do have this crazy like stalker around campus who's trying to follow me, I don't know. But like deep down I knew it was them, and they were my friends, and I didn't know why they would do that to me. I will never regret one day they were sitting on the futon again, and I was in my bed, and at this point I was so frustrated with them that I was like hardly talking to them, and they sent me another message, and I jumped off the bed and I like tackled them, and I was yelling, and I was like, give me your phone. I was just so mad, and they were just like, okay, Maddie, chill, it's us, ha 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 ha, we got you so good, you never knew, blah blah blah. And I was just like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? I knew for like 3 months. Y'all pranked me for 6 months. 6 months when I knew half the time, and like made me feel like I was going psycho. Why would you do that? Like, no hate on them either, because like my roommate that year, she's a great girl. I think like she just really likes messing with people, and we're still on very good terms. Like we still hang out maybe like once or twice a year, really casually. She's great. The other girl, Patricia, she was like the hallmate. Like I thought we were really great friends, like we were best friends sophomore year, but then I found out everything I ever told her she was just using to crap talk me to another girl she knew I didn't like. So, you know, but it's all life lesson. You kind of learn who you should talk to and who you shouldn't talk to about certain things in life. And hey, I learned the signs of catfishing. So if any of you ever start getting random texts and your friends seem really receptive to it, it's probably your friends, and they're probably not good friends to have. But anyways, that was the story about the time my best friends in college catfished me for like 6 months. So I don't know if this is a common thing to happen to people, but it happened to me. So if you guys like this story, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe below. I do story times pretty often because I have very weird things happen to me. So yeah. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.